In my prior role as chief of staff to Governor Walker, I did learn and worked on election security, and Alaska has some of the most secure elections in the world because we have that sanctity of our paper ballot. It's super secure. People may not even realize this, but we actually do call in our election results, or we actually carry them on little thumb drives that never get attached to the internet. We call it the sneaker net. And so our elections are sort of completely bifurcated from the internet. So we're, maybe it's a little low tech, but it's super secure. Some of the challenges in Alaska, of course, are, our sheer remoteness. Some of our places have no tabulation machines. We count by hand. We certainly have challenges with any issues with the mail system. We have what's called bypass mail up here. We have to subsidize our mail system in order to get ballots to and from voters timely. So the mail system is really an integral part. The future, a lot of people believe, and I tend to share it, is some sort of hybrid vote by mail system where we get ballots, you can sit around the kitchen table with them, you can get the best information, discuss your choices, and it's not that 90 seconds in the booth and gosh, you got to remember every issue, every ballot measure, every candidate. So we do think that's the future. It's going to have to be something very secure. You're going to have to be able to track your ballot all the way through the process. Otherwise, the faith of the system is shaken. But it's something that was actually explored here in Anchorage, where I live, which is almost half the population of Alaska. It works beautifully. We've got a vote counting center. So I really think that's one part of the future. The other is there's a election modernization and reform ballot measure up here, ballot measure 2, which is seeking to get dark money out of our elections, have open single ballot primaries, what Alaska used to have. And that avoids the Shugnak problem that, of course, Andrew Kitchenman talked about earlier, where, what ballot do you give people? And then ranked choice voting as Maine has. And we kind of think Alaska's the future. Maybe we're ahead of the curve because we're fiercely independent, and that's politically as well. We have the highest number of people in Alaska who don't affiliate with either party. As partisan as the world looks, about 63% of our voters don't affiliate with either party. And so, I think there's a hunger for Alaskans to see their elections reflect that. So in response to the COVID pandemic, the legislature empowered the lieutenant governor, who is like, as you may have heard in the introductory remarks, a little bit like the Secretary of State in most states. The lieutenant governor runs our elections. So they gave him the power to run elections completely by mail, to do whatever he needed to do to keep Alaskans safe. And the Division of Elections, I applaud them, has done a ton to sort of open up and promote absentee voting, because we have universal, no excuse absentee voting up here. The problem arose when early in the process, the Division of Elections decided, we're just going to give an application to everyone 65 years of age and older. And that's it. That's kind of our outreach. That didn't work for a number of reasons. As it came out, the data became more clear. That's not the highest risk group. Our highest risk group were people with these other pre-existing conditions, and actually people of color and people in remote areas who didn't have medical services nearby. Villages of 60 and 100 people don't have a hospital. So that was the problem. That's why we filed the suit. We said, great idea, send an application to everyone. Send an application to everyone though. Don't just send it to 65 and older, because right now, you're having a disproportionate impact on people of color and rural Alaskans because, of course, as a matter of age and demographics, there are twice as many people over the age of 65 who are white as a proportion of population as are non-white. Twice as many who live in urban areas versus rural areas. So we really felt like it raised a ton of problems. They attempted to remedy that with having this online application, which again, we applaud. The more channels, the more ways to vote absentee, the better. The big problem they had, 30,000 Alaskans have no ID card. They had no way to access the system because many of our villages, they don't require a driver's license. So by statute, you don't need an ID, so they don't have it. So 30,000 Alaskans right off the top can't access the system. The next problem we've got in Alaska is this digital divide. About 100,000 plus Alaskans have very limited internet. They don't have wired internet like you'd be used to. They have either none or something through microwave dishes. And so the access has just not been equal. So we argued it about a week and a half ago in federal district court. We're awaiting the judge's decision. We're hopeful that the judge is going to compel the Division of Elections to expand the kind of proactive absentee voter application to if not every Alaskan, then more of these groups that are clearly identifiable as at risk and not having access to the online system.